Hello, and wherever and whenever you are, welcome to the Underdark down here in the Abyss. Can you hear me? Yes, you can. Excellent. Okay, hello, and welcome, Raiders from Guild Superior. I hope you had a fantastic session. I caught bits and bobs, little snatches of it as I was driving to work and between classes. Looks like you're having another fantastic session, as always. Wonderful to have you all here. And as you can see below me, there would be a familiar graphic there as our good friend CZ, I see you. Hey Daisy, I see you too. As our good friend CZRPG has given us a rather splendid map pack, a fantastic pack of 10 original maps, and then with all the different versions, it adds up to a whole 70 different maps in this one map pack for you to have the chance to win today. So do stick around, and hopefully you'll have the chance to get that fantastic prize for your gaming needs and everything. So let us, without further ado, get things rolling here. We are waiting on one more person, but we are going to get things kicked off, and they will jump in as soon as they can. Now, as a massive thank you to all of you that are joining us live. It is always fantastic to have you with us for our stories and adventures here. I hope that you enjoy today's session. And let it be known that even if you can't and you have to catch up with the VOD squad, that is also very much appreciated, that you can join us on our adventures whenever you have that opportunity. Thank you so much. And, of course, once more, another huge thank you and welcome, as always, to CZRPG. They are sponsoring us all for this fantastic fortnight. I ricochet between Fantastic Fortnite and Fabulous Fortnite. I haven't quite decided on a name yet. As we are rolling on rounds to just 1 week away, our 1 year anniversary here on Twitch from when we started streaming. That is going to be Friday next week, and do join us if you can for what promises to be a very special episode of Descent into Avernus. Then on the Saturday, we will be kicking off our brand new Candlekeep Mysteries campaign with our new friends Daisy over there in chat and others from the KEBG podcast and my brother-in-law. We are very looking forward to that. Cardman, thank you so much. And we are looking forward to that. And the wonderful CZRPG there has supplied us with fantastic supplements and encounters and map bundles for each and every session in that lead up to the anniversary weekend. So if you are able to stick around, and don't worry if you can't make it to the end of the session, if you enter into the prize draw and you're not able to stay until the very end, we will still be in touch with your prize, so do not worry about that too much. Today is a little different to the ones we've had so far. Until now, we could give you a discounted DM's Guild link, but today, because it's a big map pack, it's a slightly different deal. So today we will need to get your email address so that CZRPG can send those wonderful prizes in your direction. So if you are comfortable, they have a fantastic mailing list, which I would also recommend joining as well. But if you are comfortable giving your email address, then please do join in that giveaway when you get the chance. So without further ado, let me get that fired up here. Just a moment. Wonder where our Kiwi is. Honorary Kiwi, because he's actually a Floridian. No, thank you, CZ. It's been absolute joy, and a huge thank you to Guild Superior and the fine folks over at the Games Tavern with the shared charity event we did recently that introduced us to you. It was a pleasure to meet you. Now, let us get over here. Let's do this. And this. Sorry, I'm just firing up the giveaway for all you good people. Okay. Boop. Giveaways. Right, so you will see a vicious circle. I don't know if vicious is the word, not sure. I think we've got a rather joyous circle of gaming here. Okay, so everyone, I'm about to get this fired up here. You will see in chat there. Boom. With a delay, you've probably already seen it. There it is. Okay, your chance to win a copy of the Epic Forest Wilderness Map Bundle from DM's Guild bestseller, CGRPG. Follow the channel and type !CGRPG in chat to be entered into the giveaway, and the winner will be drawn at the end. Hey, Verd. So, if you are not already following us, please do give us a follow and then type in that in the chat there, and you'll be entered automatically into the giveaway. And then at the end, one of you lucky people will get their hands on these incredible, beautiful maps from CGRPG to use in your games. So please do jump in there if you want those lovely, lovely maps. Okay, so, and Chris, you can join this too. It's okay. You're allowed.
Again?
Yes.
Woo!
Please,
right.
please.
Hold on.
He's like,
Got it.
gimme. All right. So, let us. There he is. First come, first serve. No, not first come, first serve. That's not how that works. First come, randomly served. All right. So, let us carry on here. Whilst we're saying thank yous, let us also say a massive thank you to those lovely people at Sirenscape. Last week, we had their CEO and creative manager joining in our chat here. I wonder if he's kicking around today as well. That would be nice. We shall see. But even more, we had more direct contact with the wonderful, wonderful Vicky, their social media manager from Sirenscape, joined us for a one-shot on Saturday, which was predictably insane. Lots and lots of fun, randomly generated fun. If you have the chance to head on over to the VOD and have a look at that. It was a wonderful session with Vicky from Sirenscape, Michael from Dead Aussie Gamer, and we had Hope from TTRPGs, and then our good friends Patch from Question Junkies UK, and the channel's own Emma of Art Fame. Let me quickly do that exclamation mark art. That lady there, go and have a look on Twitter, because she is a very, very talented artist. Did not do the art for this stream, because we like to use different people, all of them, different types, different styles, and we mix it up all the time. But our Rime of the Frost Maiden and Curse of Strahd art was by her. Do give them a look. Now, also, speaking of sounds and music and other atmospheric goodies, we also like to say a massive thank you to the YouTube channels Dark Fantasy Studio, Travis Savoy, and Epic Journey, 3 sources of incredible music that you are free to use in your games. So please head on over and give them a listen and try and use them if you would like. The links to all of their channels are in our VODs on YouTube, so definitely give that a look and check them out. And finally, last but not least, on Patreon, the incredible Travis Savoy, a very prolific and wonderful music creator. I recommend that you head on over and give him a follow as well. Now, all of that said, let us meet these fine people down here, and our fourth, who's Yuko Fume, as we like to say around these parts. He's not here at the moment. We shall see what has happened. He has a new setup, so hopefully he's not got any teething issues with his new internet. We tried it yesterday and it seemed to be fine, but we shall see. Fingers crossed. Otherwise, he is lurking in the shadows, as his character is very adept at doing. Let us go, as I see it, left to right. Yusa. Yes, Yusa, with the eyebrow. Who are you? All right. Who are you playing, and where are they at right now? Oh, well, sorry, 2 seconds. Sorry to interrupt. I got myself out of order there a second. I usually do the recap, so you can just kind of get refreshed as to what happened, and then feel where your character's at. Should we do that way around? Sorry, let me do it. That's my bad. I apologize. Now, last time, our bold adventurers, as they were down here in the Underdark, trying to find their way back to the surface and help all of the friends that they escaped from a drow slavers camp with, they ventured into the cloying webs of the Silken Paths, a giant chasm in the Underdark, crisscrossed by hundreds and hundreds of spiders' webs, which is the only way to make your way from side to side. Now, we had some sturdy, thrill-loving goblin guides. We had Yak and Spiderbait, and they have been guiding them through, trying to keep them stealthy. But unfortunately, whilst the first part of their journey did pass without any serious incidents, there was an issue, as you can see on the screen here with Roll20, when a large number of giant spiders came descending out of the dark and scuttling across the webs and attacked the group. Some of them were wrapped up and bundled up, some of them falling to webs lower down below before becoming tangled again. And Farron Mac, thank you so much for that subscription. You're wonderful to have you with us. Ooh. Thank you so much. And as they battled for their lives against these poisonous creatures, they managed to fend off most of them. Then, at the very end, our good friend Corbin, as played by Buns over here, you shall find out shortly. Our good friend Corbin did a beautiful swan dive, whoosh, off the webs, plummeting down to her friend's aid in the darkness below, and promptly tamed the last giant spider with an impressive animal handling check with the aid of our lovely viewers. Thank you, Daisy, for the inspiration. And the giant spider was wooed over to their cause, and they now have a new friendo that all of you lovely people watching today, I would like to help name. So as soon as we finished our introduction here, we're going to be running a poll, and you can decide the name that we will use throughout this campaign. And no, Spidey McSpiderface is not in the options. Although I might add it now. No. You can choose the name that we will use for this giant spider. Here he is. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Careful, I shall get my disapproving teacher face on.
No. Sorry, I got caught up.
No worries, mate. We're just doing the opening stuff. It's all right. Now, so let us go across the screen now. Ignatius, you've been shunted into second from left. But I called on you before, so I shall retain that. Please, Ignatius, who are you? Who are you playing, and where are they at?
Who am I? I am Chris, and I am playing Ignatius Poppy Zurilis from the Feywild Elven Kingdom of Luthulspar. And I was caught in an ambush and dragged down to the Underdark by the Drow, and now I'm with these group of adventurers trying to find our way out, but also trying to find where my lost comrades may have been stored and enslaved.
Indeed. We found one who was unfortunately killed in their attempts to escape, but hopefully the others will be in better shape. Thank you. Now, to Ignatius's right, as we look at it, well, on our left, Elora. Who are you? Who are you playing, and where are they at?
My name is Sam. I play Elora. She is a rogue high elf. She is from Mistranor, but she ran away from home to start an outlaw band. And her and her band members were captured by the Drow. She doesn't know where they are, but with her and her fellow escapees, she's trying to get everyone home, protect everyone and herself, and also find her band members. She's also sick and tired of the Underdark and all of its spiders and murky waters.
Yes, thank goodness there are no spiders around anymore.
Done with that.
Corbin, speaking of, who are you? Who are you playing? And where are their spider friends at?
Who am I? I'm a Buns, and I'm playing Corbin, our changeling monk in the way of mercy. Don't ask why I did that so menacingly yet. They left their monastery, made their way down to the Underdark, and they are currently traveling with a new group of friends that they hope one of which will be their boss once they find the rest of their badass femme fatales.
Indeed. Oh, I typed this out and then did not press return. Our good friend Chris there, Ignatius, CarniSideShow. Give them a follow, everyone.
Oh.
Sorry, excuse me, Chris. Okay, thank you, Buns. Nice. Okay, and last but not least, Zakan. Who are you? Who are you playing? And where are they at?
Hi, I'm Steven, and I'm playing Zakan, the Aasimar ranger / cleric. They are doing as they have always done over the past 100+ years, which is find lost souls in the Underdark and guide them to the light, in a literal sense, not a religious sense, like get them out of the Underdark because it's a bad place full of spiders.
Indeed.
We
Those
keep mentioning these spiders.
awful spiders. All right. Thank you. Now, indeed, speaking of said spiders, down below in the webs, there is one of these little fuzzy friends, and it is a friend, but it is languishing in the webs, in the silken paths, without a name. I think I need to click this button over here. Boop. Da-da-da. Name the pet giant spider. Okay, everyone, as you can see here on the screen, we have 4 options decided by our players. I shall not say whose is whose, because which is whose, because I don't want any favoritism going on here.
Influence it.
Right?
Yeah.
Just go by
Fair
the
and
name.
open democracy.
You lot all keep your mouths shut there. Don't look visibly excited when I read one of the names in particular. Okay, so we have number 1, Buns. For Buns is spider. Number 2, Silk. As in the silken paths here, the silken paths, but a interesting spelling on that there. We have already, with 1 vote, Derendilia. And last but not least, the fantastic Webster. So, everyone, in chat, please type the number of the name that you like. Which one do you think our new friend should be called? Should their name be Buns, Derendilia, Silk, or Webster? Okay? So, please let us know. Type in the number. Just type the number and in chat there, and that'll let us see what name we're going to give our things here. And players, you can also vote as well. And you can just type in a number. It won't necessarily be for yours. Last time we did a vote like this, none of us voted for our own options. Okay. We have a few votes coming in. Thank you, CZ. Thank you, Daisy. Thank you, QIMS. Sorry, excuse me. Thank you, Chris. I demand wins. Wow. We shall see. Well, QIMS, also try and demand some wins in the giveaway there if you like. Type in ! CZRPG and give us a follow if you want to have the chance of getting all these fantastic maps. Okay, I shall leave it open for a little longer. Anyone else? Please type in the number that you would like. I should do one too.
Name that spider.
Cheers, Chris. Choices. I think I'll do mine at the very end. I don't want to.
Might influence things.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay up.
Okay.
Right.
So, after they have made their way out of these silken paths, escaped these webs, as I just give a little extra time for people to vote if they want to, thank you, Andy. The different, the various the various different options were weighed and balanced, and they decided to head towards the Durgar city of Guntelgrim as their next destination, and they are hoping to. Oh yes, snacks! How rude! And they are heading there on the way to the Durgar there to see what they can see and deliver their new friend Hemeth, who they rescued from being sacrificed to the Limu-Gugan, who actually turned out to be the Demogorgon. Okay, we have a 3-way tie at the moment. We need someone. Thank you, Cardman. We need someone.
The music is very apt.
It's like tense voting music. Okay, we need someone to break that tie. Someone looking out there who hasn't voted yet. You have all the power.
All of it.
I suppose I do. I guess I'm the tiebreaker. You could only vote once. Sorry, Quims. Nice try. Yes, I did set that up. Okay. Am I gonna have the? If I have the deciding vote, I'm rolling for it. I don't want that. I don't want that on my head. How we doing? Okay. I'm gonna roll for it. Going once. Going twice. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Which of the names shall we give to the giant spider? Type the number in chat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It still won't work. And 0. I shall pause for a slight moment because there is a delay. Tick tock, 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 tick tock. Boom! Look at that. A 3-way tie. Silk, Derendilia, Webster. I am going to roll this spiderweb colored dice. And it will decide the fate of our giant spider chum. Are you ready? Here it goes. Okay. I will take a photo and I'll send it to the chat so that you players can confirm. Focus, focus, focus. Boop. Okay. So, everyone. The name of our new giant spider chum is the Fabulous. Cultured, Urbane, Webster. Webster it is. Congratulations, Chris. That was yours.
That was mine.
That was yours. There we go. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, everybody. Apologies if yours was not chosen. Your choice was not chosen. It'll do. It'll do. Yes, it will. Oh, Cubes, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, lovely to have you here. Yes, so once more, let me just do a quick typey type here. Give away. Hey. So yes, everyone, before we get into things proper here, just one more shout out here for our good friend CZ. They have an incredible forest wilderness map pack for your availability. If you want to get your hands on that, do give us a follow and type in !CGRPG to be entered into the running for this incredible map package that you can use in your games. I've seen the maps, they are absolutely gorgeous, so do definitely jump in there if you would like to get your hands on that. Right, okay, dear friends, you have received kind of a respite here. You know, the kind of adrenaline still going through your veins as you're like balancing, trying to keep your balance, jumping between the various webbings and fending off these terrible creatures. Corbin was like throwing them across the space into some of the other ones there. If you're a player, you can gift it to your DM. Yes, indeed, CZ. Thank you. Good idea. And you managed to defeat most of them and befriend the remainder as you find yourself in the slowly undulating and going back to their normal state. The silken paths are becoming quieter again. Your friends start to scuttle around. Let's see here. Who have we got up top? Corbin, let's see. Corbin, Hemeth, the giant spider, and Zakan are all about 60 feet down. Turvy, okay, poor little Turvy is another 10, 20 feet down below you guys. And then up above you, they got caught up in webs higher up above. We have Sarith and Yuck. Also bound up in spider webbing and tangled there. Now, Zakan, Elora, as you now stop and look around, you see you must have been quite close to these creatures' lair or something, because as your eyes become accustomed and you focus not on what's directly in front of you, but let your eyes pan around and go out, you do see hanging in the webs around you several humanoid-sized, and one slightly alarming, smaller-sized bundles of spider silk. What would you all like to do?
Bad, Webster. No more of that.
I think Laura will turn to the gun and be like, "Are we safe take this? I'm not really familiar with spiders. Could they follow us by the scent of your silk, or do you think maybe this could be worth some money?
Ooh, I mean, dependent on if the people here are still alive, they would probably pay to get free, but
Humans entrapped
Did
inside the silk.
did we ride up with the spider?
Not yet.
you're still
You're in two
not
separate
yet.
groups. Yeah, two separate groups here. So sorry, Corbin and Laura, you're not
okay.
next to each other. Laura, you're with Ignatius.
Oh, okay, sorry. I missed the part about I thought it was human size. I didn't realize. Okay, they're trapped inside there. Okay.
Yeah, they look similar to your friends who are also wrapped up in spider silk.
So, Zakan, do you want to try and free them? Or I don't even know if they'd be alive.
Zakan's also down on the below bits, but I think post taming of this spider, they're going to attend to. Who is it that was down? Hemeth is down, right?
No,
The other ones are just kind of webbed up.
No, you were protecting Hemeth. He's very close to you.
That's right. Yeah, so I think kind of letting Corbin do their spider thing, having, given up on any sense of convincing them otherwise. And they just lean over Hemeth and put their hands upon him and cast a Cure Wounds.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So let's see what we heal for there.
Yes, because he was taken out at one point, but you cast that. What's it called? Gentle Repose. It's Bear the Dying. There we go. Yeah, Gentle Repose is when they're already dead. Sorry.
Just to keep him from decaying. So that's 10 points of healing.
Thank you very much. I should take off this large cross. Oop. All right, so
as they're sort of, their hands are lighting up and they're healing him, they look up to Buns, or not Buns, Buns is there.
Yep.
They look up to Corbin and they say, "Do you even know anything about these creatures? Taking care of them, taming them, watching them?"
No, not even in the slightest. But I just feel like I can connect with them. Maybe it's this new weird key that I have.
Zakan, also, they are often used as mounts and beasts of burden by various groups down here. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to be a problem.
Yep. Yeah, and I think thinking that they kind of sigh, betraying what emotion that they will betray, and they reach into their satchel and hold out some mysterious bug meat to the spider.
Leans slowly forward, and just takes it in.
And they take another handful and they give it to Corbin. And they say, still, it's impressive that you managed to calm it in the midst of combat. When they are engaged in hunting and within their territory, they are quite aggressive, and it's not often that prey caught within their webs have the chance to befriend them, so...
Mm-hmm.
Well, they kind of remind me of these cranky birds that used to be at the monastery. I got all of them to sit with me. Seems like this isn't that much better. They hold up the meat and they're like, I think I'll call him Webster.
Meaningfully looks at the camera.
Okay. Thank you. Now, meanwhile, 60 feet above, Elora, Ignatius.
Yes, do you think we should go find them, or maybe call down to them? I don't know if it's safe.
Maybe call down to them and see if they can hear us.
You guys didn't activate any kind of light or anything, did you, when you were down there?
Well, there was something I was rewatching last week, and I think, oh yeah, that thing would have been lit up, but I thought you were down there, but you weren't, were you, Ignatius? You were, and then you clambered back up, didn't you? Yeah, because that's the only that was the only light source in the whole area was your. So
Okay.
Corbin, you're doing this
Like
all
a
in
stone.
the pitch dark.
Right? I think I'll call them webs. It's spiders over here. I think I'll call them Webster. Just complete opposite direction.
That's right.
Corbin, that's
You like turn them.
Yeah, that's a cocooned corpse. Stop talking to that one.
Webster.
But you can, Corbin, you can see like way up above you. You can see Ignatius's axe bobbing around up, 60 feet above.
I feel like we should go get Turvy. The poor
Zakan,
child that's under us.
you can see them, Zakan.
Mhm.
So I'll just
they
call down quickly
kind of
then,
look down
also, just to
random.
make sure.
Ignatius, yeah.
I'll just call down. Zakan, Corbin, are you okay?
We're alive. Right? You still hear chattering?
Is that a spider I hear? Are you sure?
Yes. And yes. Yes to both.
Should we come down or
Khan
just
calls up. Do not be alarmed when Corbin arrives. Everything is fine.
The laugh is in character. It just like echoes up the thing. Just.
Are you injured, Corbin?
Given how tired Zakan is, even from.
I want to go down, like climb down, so I can free the smole. Would my new friend be able to help me, or should I just climb down, do it like an acrobatics maybe?
Your friend could help you definitely, but you can't see. So do you have a torch or something?
No, that's why I was hoping my friend would help me.
I mean,
Take me to your other prey. They can't be that anymore.
they're not, sorry, not that intelligent, I'm afraid. So you could steer them if you
I
could
think
see
I
where
do
you're
have
going.
a torch. I'm looking in my inventory now to make sure.
Mhm.
Do.
Probably will. Most packs have a few.
Beyond, and I think I did a Dungeoneer's pack, so I'm pretty sure that I do.
Then yes, if it doesn't, you need to
Yeah.
go back and see that shopkeeper and be angry with them. yeah. This is a Dungeoneer's pack. It's great.
Right. Characters.
This is a fake torch.
It's full of rocks I found in a dungeon.
No, that's mean.
Ebix, so yeah, you're right. It was
Alright, so yes, I
chatting
do.
yesterday. Excellent. So yeah, you're gonna flare that up.
Yep.
Little Webster shies away, scared at first.
Understandable,
But then slowly comes creeping back.
Alright. Now, would there be anything that I would need to be another animal handling to see if they listen to me to like help me lower me down on their web, like they just like put it around my foot and like lower me down.
Give me an animal handling check, yeah.
Okay.
I'll say that Zakan assists, that they have some familiarity with them as mounts. So
Yep.
sort of like he's pointing out, like if you hold them here, and sort of do this kind of thing, then you can have them put the web out, or you can get up on them.
So did that mean I roll with advantage?
Yes.
Yep. Oh, not that one. Yeah, there you go. First one was a 6. The second one was a 13 plus 1, which is 14.
Okay. So yeah, you after calming it down and it stops being scared of the fire, knowing,
Like the
understanding
fire.
your intent, and reading your kind of natural body language and things, and then you manage to clamber up back onto its back where you landed previously, and this is a perfect little Corbin-shaped dent.
I did like curb stomp it and then go, now you're mine.
It's like a friggin' like wrestling move. He's like the people's elbow, and then boom. So, I touched it. It's mine.
How they express affection, actually, is it like
Monk? Yeah, old monks.
just
Yeah,
very lucky.
Right? It's called VDA, violent displays of affection.
And you manage to clamber up onto its back and kind of use your heels like Zakan shows you, and that steers it in the right direction, and you start scuttling down. And before noticing you see Turvey's eyes, as they're bound up in the silk, just go wide as this creature is descending upon them to have its final feed. And then he was like,
And then my head pops up, I'm like, hi, Turvey!
all right, what?
This is Webster, apparently.
Right? It's just like, this
Webster?
is Webster. Yes.
All right, Webster.
It becomes Webs.
Pleasure.
And they're like cutting them free.
Please, yeah, could you get me out of here? And
Stop wiggling.
I'm quite nervous. But yeah, you cut them free, and they clamber up on the back as well. After seeing, it's like actually looks quite fun. And then yeah, you just go scuttling. On the way, you pass Yuck Yuck.
Can you just stick them to like the back of the spider like Velcro from the webs? Just sneak.
Yeah. Yeah.
The spider back has unlimited space.
It's like, Yuck Yuck's like, wow, that was gnarly. Whoa. What? Got a new friend. Wow, that's cool.
No one trusts me.
So Ignatius, Laura, you see your friends now. Ebix, they're stuck in spiders' webs with giant spiders, but they befriended one of them. So one of the giant spiders is now their friend, and they're releasing their friends from the bundles, and slowly making their way up. Now, Ignatius, you also saw the other various hanging bundles in the torchlight. Now that Corbin is moving around with the torch beyond the reach of your magical light, and you do see these other kind of almost ghostly bundles emerging out of the darkness as Corbin moves around. And you do see here and there, probably about 6 or 7 all in, various bundles.
Can I make out if any of them are perhaps moving?
Give me a perception check.
Maybe more in serious need. Let's see. 16 plus perception. 19.
Nice. Do you remember I said one of them was smaller than the others? That is jerking and swaying slightly.
Okay. You said it's about 60 feet down, right?
No, they're all at various spots. That one is. That's only 10 feet down from where you are, but it's about 30 feet away horizontally.
Okay. I'll kind of look around at the party first, just make sure everyone's okay, and then tell Laura like that one's moving. I think we should act fast and start climbing down.
Okay, so Laura joins Ignatius climbing down.
Okay. So yeah, you slowly, as you've been shown by your goblin guides, make your way across the webs and arrive at this slightly moving bundle. And as you get very close, you have to get right up next to it, but you do hear a
You happen to be, I think you have more finesse when it comes to slicing. Maybe I should let you do this.
I shall release you with my great axe.
Sure.
They are free.
Pulls out her dagger and attempts to gracefully and gently cut the silk.
From the top or the bottom? Sorry?
From the bottom.
From the bottom? Okay. As you carefully slide your knife through the silk and part the front, you see a wild-eyed, round face with a very little button nose and a tuft of curly red hair escaping from under where the webbing is keeping them wrapped up. And they're like, oh, hello. Am I rescued?
Yes, we're here to save you. We come in peace. We mean no harm to you.
Thank the stars. Oh, bless you. Bless you.
Laura's gonna continue
You see,
to.
they're a halfling hanging upside down. So you
Oh.
carefully cut up the rest of the, and you see they have kind of good quality travelers' clothes. There's a bit of a few gashes in the clothing, and you see actually where the silk was wrapped around on the inside as you cut it away. There's some blood that was from wounds that has seeped into the interior of the silk, if not through to the outside. And you release them, and Ignatius, you kind of like hold them so they don't fall as they cut away that last bit. And yeah, you manage to release them from their bindings there. He's like, oh,
Sorry.
yeah, please.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I give them like a little bit of water, try to calm them down a bit. Just ask them who they are.
And their breathing slowly returns. Oh, I thought it was a gunner. I thank you so much. Thank you, all of you, so much. Are we safe now? Have you dealt with the bastards?
Most of them.
Most of them.
You'll never see another spider again.
Don't.
Worry.
It's like, oh, well, thank the gods then. I've been blessed this day. The name's Rumblefoot, Fargus Rumblefoot. Have you been adventuring down here long?
Elora has, haven't you?
Oh, no, not much longer than you. Came here about the same time, but we've been down in the caverns for a few days now, I think. What brought you down here? Or did you come alone?
No, not originally. No, I was with an adventuring band. We were oh gods, they're all gone. All of my friends. We were down here looking for a long lost tomb. Apparently used to belong to one of them fancy flying netherese cities, like up in the surface. But when their magics were broken and they came crashing down to the earth, this tomb was apparently broken away from the city and plunged down here into the Underdark. And we got wind of where it's at, and we came looking for it. But I'm afraid that we were attacked by these bastards. And he gestures to the other bundles. And I'm afraid that my friends were killed when they were attacked. And I thought I was a gunner and all, but then these giant spiders came spinning out and charging out of the darkness, and they killed the attackers, and I thought I was a gunner as well. I blacked out, and I don't remember anything that happened after that until a short while ago, and I came round and I could barely breathe and I couldn't see nothing, and they must have poisoned me, and I must have blacked out. I've always been a sturdy chap. You could always hold my drink and everything, but you look like you could too, fella. Like just to you, Ignatius. But I guess that all those nights in the tavern set me up proper for a dose of spider poison. Maybe I should introduce it to the local tavern when I get back home. Could be an interesting little chaser. Yeah, it knocked me out good and proper, and I only just came round just before, and I heard all the ruckus going on. I hoped for the best, and I hoped so I wasn't going to be joined, and their larder wasn't going to be bolstered by some more tasty foodstuffs, and I just thank the gods that you prevailed. All the bastards are dead, every last one of them.
It's time, riding triumphantly out of the wedding. Scorpion.
Charging.
Who are these?
Yeah, like Zakan sends Corbin back up while they're like freeing Sereth out of the webbing.
And they're just like, it's okay, guys. It's all right. So we got everyone else. Zarkon is. Oh, hey, you found someone else. Hey.
Say, ah, you, big fella, there's one more. Grab him, get him. And as you turn around,
Laura pulls
you
out her
see
bow.
one more of the spiders. Yeah, Laura, you pull out the bow. Corbin, you've got 3 seconds. 3, 2.
His name is Webster, and he's mine, and don't do it. And they're like climbing up him, like, no, it's fine.
Laura, you suddenly see Corbin's head poke up above the fuzzy, multi-eyed, glistening-eyed skull of this creature, and they're like waving frantically. And you can also see Topsy
Like their hand
standing.
is huge.
Yeah. And Topsy's standing behind them with their hands on Corbin's shoulders to steady themselves, and they're also like waving, like stop.
I think
So,
probably would have
Fargus,
chucked
right?
Hemeth on there as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Hemeth as well.
Yes.
His name was Fargus, this guy?
Say again, sorry?
It was Fargus, he said?
That's right. Yes, that's
Rumblefoot?
right. Fargus Rumblefoot.
Okay.
Fargus. So I just asked him, like, who were these attackers? And I moved toward those other sacks, if there's one close to me.
Oh, it was some of them nasty drow. They jumped on us, and I think they were trying to take us to use us as slaves. I've heard that happens down here a lot. And I'm afraid they killed my friends as they were trying to defend themselves. And poor Landless as well. He'd only just joined us a couple of days before. We found him wandering. Vinicius. Landless was one of your unit.
Oh.
Another of the Eladrin that was taken with you.
This Lanilus,
Aye?
did he fall?
Aye. I'm afraid he did. He was a good un. He was a right good un. The drow, when they attacked us, they shouted something about him escaping and them coming after him. And that's where they found the rest of us.
Start cutting down the rest of the bundles then, if I can.
Mm-hmm. And,
While Zakan is collecting Sereth, imagine they might keep an eye out for any other like bundles or movement.
Mm-hmm.
Else potentially needing rescue.
Indeed. There
If there's
are...
no one, they'll just rejoin with Sereth kind of over their shoulder.
Okay. There are a total of 8 other bundles. And as you start to cut them down, everyone kind of comes and helps. Webster looks a little disgruntled at the waste of good food.
He's like, hey.
He's like, I do not understand your emotional connection to this larder.
Well, if it's a drow, I mean, go for it, buddy.
Yeah, that's your first couple of days of food. You're okay. You cut down the various bundles and kind of lay them across strands that are relatively close and relatively level, and start to investigate and cut through. And you find that there are 4 drow, all with their armor cut, and not by spider bites or anything, but there was, seems like Fargus's traveling companions put up a good fight before the spiders attacked. And the although, so that none of this angst falls over onto Webster here, Fargus does say that the drow killed the other members before the spiders attacked. He was the last one standing, and then he thought he was dead at the drow's hands, and then the spiders jumped in. And he, you find, like I say, four drow, and then the adventuring companions of Fargus. If I can just click here.
As they're going through, Zakan will ruffle through like any pouches or things on the drow soldiers, just to look for orders or missives or those sorts of things, symbols.
Okay. Yep. So you're looking through who? Sorry.
The drow soldiers specifically. So
okay.
look for any papers or symbols or things like that.
I mean, you see a couple of marks of Lolth, and they do have the white markings on their face of the Lolth Swan. And actually, thank you, Zakan. That's very helpful. As you're doing that, you can't help but ponder how weird it is that giant spiders attacked Drow. And especially now that you've uncovered them and you see that they have the white markings of Lolth Swan, if they were favored by their goddess, there is no way these giant spiders should have attacked them. So maybe another sign of the strange times down here.
Doesn't sit right. We should you quickly.
Yeah, and the and they have some what's the word I'm looking for? Scimitars and daggers.
Yeah.
And you think they probably would have had they have some pouches with crossbow bolts, but it looks like they've dropped the crossbows when they were attacked, wherever they were attacked.
Yeah.
It wasn't local.
Yeah, I think Zakan will take a dagger because I don't actually have a dagger at the moment. And
Yep.
It can come in handy.
Absolutely.
I assume it's just your standard job.
Yep. It's got some it's got some drow imagery on
So
it,
then-
and like a carved. It's got quite a kind of wicked-looking curved blade.
Ooh.
So as they're kind of going through, they see one that's got like a decent. They do that thing where you like flick the edge of it, and I'm like, oh, that's a good one.
Yep.
And so they take it.
Okay. Now.
And then they stand up and sort of go, yes, we should move.
Yep. Looking through the other party members that were with Fargus, you see, and he's looking over. He's like, "Oh, this one was Kayla Barrack," and you see the corpse of a female half-orc. Looks to have been a fighter, wearing scale mail. And has a rapier. Actually, they would have had their weapons out and been using them, so they would have lost their weapons. But yeah, she's wearing scale mail. You can see two very prominent bite marks, she and other slashes and things. So she was clearly killed by the drow, like Vargas says. But then the spiders were, making sure that they were unconscious
Poison
before they were
injection thing.
Yeah, exactly. She has this shock of white hair, which reminds you of the drow, ironically. And the next one, he's like, this one was Octavia, and a female human is the next one there, black hair and narrow green eyes, which Fargus slowly closes into more peaceful repose. And she has an unusual mark on her cheek. That Corbin, can you give me a history check?
You beat me to it. I would go wait for you to finish before I asked. Okay, so history.
What's that mark?
That is it's a 0, so it's just a plain 12.
A 12? Okay, that's enough.
Okay.
You recognize it as one of the bardic colleges from Neverwinter.
Neverwinter.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so clearly a bard.
Neverwinter. Like they're gonna mention it and see if it sparks anything for anybody else, or there any way for them to dive more into it, or just make a note of it so they can look into it later. Like probably when we have a better chance to rest after we've gotten out of the situation.
Sure. So
I'm probably gonna want to take a deeper look in that.
yeah, have a quick sketch of it.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is a randomly generated adventuring party, so I do not have one for you right now.
No, it's fine.
Everyone, the incredible Donjon random generators with their Ruby. Everyone know the anime Ruby on over on?
Yes.
Is it Rooster
Rooster
Teeth?
Teeth?
Yeah.
Yes.
They have this donjon generators. They have a ruby team generator, so you can just generate.
Where like put all the names in. Yes.
It
I
gives you
always love
names
that.
and descriptions.
That
It,
was so
it gives you their stats as well, like a D&D
That's how that's
stats.
pronounced?
Yes, RWBY,
pronounced
but
out loud.
pronounced Ruby.
It's Ruby, yeah. Okay. Anyway, so
Yeah,
Elora.
Zakan's head is just on a swivel, like while they're standing here in the midst of the webs. Like they know that this person wants to say goodbye to their fallen adventurers, but they are, looking around antsy.
Indeed. Elora. What are you doing at the moment?
Yeah, I'm same as Zakan. I think I'm looking around, looking for potential enemies, and maybe mentioning to them maybe we should get out of here as soon as possible in case there are more.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to be done for these now.
Let me. So I'm just trying to find.
Doing a quick head count. We have everyone with us, right?
Yes.
The party plus Fargus and Kenneth and our 2 guides. Everyone's all here.
Yes. Elora, did you hear that?
And Webster, of
With
course.
your new installed Sirenscape?
Put down lower, but now I'm gonna put it back up higher.
Elora, you hear this?
Does anyone else hear a meowing sound?
Do we? Do we hear a meowing sound?
No, you didn't hear it then. Everyone stops and goes quiet. You were talking amongst yourselves, talking to Fargus and stuff, and you stop and listen. Yeah. There it is. You do hear it that time. And Elora, you turn around, and as the corpse of this bard is uncovered, stepping daintily across the webs towards it, and almost sadly, forlornly, nuzzling at the still half-wrapped body of this Octavia the Bard, there is a black cat. And it has a little tag around its neck.
What does the tag say?
Cat, black cat.
There it is. There it is. Right there.
Oh, you sad little dude.
Yeah. It has this little tag around its neck, and it says Isel.
Aw.
Isel. Yes. Ice, as in ice, frozen ice, and then with a double L at the end.
I think I'm gonna call the name of the cat and see if it responds. Iceland?
Give me an animal handling check.
That's well.
I would like to help. Everyone deserves a pet.
minus. It's not minus.
Corbin there just like petting Webster.
Zakan's just like, oh, more mouths, more mouths. How'd you go, Laura?
It's a good thing for the mask.
Yes. Okay. You kind of bend down, keeping your balance carefully, and just softly call out.
Isel.
And it
Isel.
hisses.
Come here.
It hisses there, and slightly curious and nervous, but then starts to purr. Thank you, Sirenscape. perfectly soundboarded by Sirenscape on its own front there. And then it starts to come across slowly towards you.
I think Alora attempts to pick up Isel.
Okay. And it allows itself to be picked up.
If we can take a spider on our journey, we certainly have room for this precious cat that's lost its owner. Kind of looks
Certainly, why not?
acceptance.
And
Corbin is just like, pet twins! While they're like holding the head of this.
I imagine Webster eyeing that cat very
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
hungrily.
Oh, no, he's a friend. He's a friend.
Okay. Thank you. So yes, Isel has joined the party. Again, that's thanks to the ruby generator. The bard had a companion, animal companion.
Oh, see, it's fate. It's fate.
Yes. Now, the last bundle is opened by Fargus is doing it himself now, and he's pulled out a knife from his belt, and he's cutting the last member free. And you see it is a half elf, another female. It was all of the others were female in the group, and he's like, "Oh, Fiona, I hope you're with your god now." And she has long brown hair, and she's wearing studded leather armor. And you just hear Fargus almost under his breath kind of mutters. He's like, "At least that stupid prince will come after you no more." And
Thank you, music.
suspicious music. So, that happens. Now, Fargus turns to you all. He's like, "Look, we all knew what we were getting into. And I don't want to burden you all, and even, if we did want to, where would we take them? Let's leave them here. Let's let nature run its course."
This is the way of things.
Right. But I mean, we don't want to let, as my old Ma used to say, waste not, want not. And it starts going through their pockets.
I think Alora
So-
has signatures. Are you okay with this?
Say again, sorry?
I think
So-
Alora turns to Ignatius. One of their fallen comrades is there. Are you okay with leaving them here?
He hasn't touched Lanlis.
Oh, okay.
Left
Okay.
that to Ignatius.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm still looking. So did I not find Lanalis?
Yeah, the last one.
Nobody.
The last one was of the 8 there. The 8th one is, and you slowly carefully cut it open, and yes, indeed, you see an Eladrin in the season of winter from their appearance, and at rest, seemingly. They don't have too much of a stricken look on their face as you uncover them, but it is Landis.
Well, at least I have comfort in the fact that you all are reborn. Must be nice. I'll also leave them here and perhaps just look around if they had anything important, any letters maybe they wanted to send home or anything, notes that they might have written down, and as well as their weapon if they have one.
They do have a small pouch, yes, which you can just quickly grab and go through later. Now, the rest of you and Fargus and the Webster and Isel as well. Isel's fur all stands up and they kind of hiss a little, and Webster kind of like scuttles back a little bit in startled fashion, and Fargus as well. He's like, "Oh, what the hell's is that?" And he moves back away from you. And the rest of you, as before, as Ignatius is stooped down over their fallen comrade, slowly emerging like an ethereal mist, you see a group of ghostly grey figures standing around Ignatius, all facing this Landless, the body of Landless. An equal number to his left and right, as these minotaurs, for they are Ignatius's forebears, his ancestors, his ancestral guardians, take form in vigil over their fallen comrade. And also, Ignatius, as you remember, the previous Eladrin that you found had joined them, and their figure is still there in the number as well. And they're all standing silently around. And Ignatius, only you hear in your mind. The rest of you don't hear this.
Another one who did us proud.
Oh,
Their sacrifice was not for nothing. May their spirits, their will survive, aid you, embolden you, and protect you and your companions.
And as they speak, the ghostly form, a similar shadowy figure, rises up from Landless's body and stands upright once more and reaches out a hand to you, Ignatius, crouched down over their body, and does that, the forearm to forearm. And you actually feel some form of, kind of almost corporeal presence there, and they pull you up, not wishing to see their commander kneeling at their side. And they move to your right side. And even as they do so, the figure of the other fallen comrade that you had buried before, down on the shores of the dark lake, steps to your left side. And your ancestors chime in your mind again.
Bring forth your weapon.
They say, bring forth my weapon. Just unleash it, or take it off my back, pull it in front of me, hold it over.
You bring your great axe round in front and plant it on the web at your feet and put your hands atop the blade, standing there in vigil over the body of Landless. And as you do that, the two spirits, the two ghostly figures to your left and right, those of your fallen comrades, start to be drawn out as if they're being sucked towards the weapon. And these ghostly tendrils of their spectral forms drain into each side of the axe. One figure into each blade of the double-headed weapon. And slowly they become one with the battle axe. And you can almost feel a faint vibration. And you just know in your very being that they have chosen to fight alongside you still. And you can feel the power that has been imbued into your great axe. I would like you to go to D&D Beyond. Go to your equipment. Delete that plain old battle axe. And then go over to the equipment section where you can add more equipment. I think manage equipment, right?
Uh-huh.
I think so.
And
yeah.
in the search bar, let me get the right name for you. There's a little search bar that comes up at the top there. If you type axe, you'll see an item called Axe of the Ancients, I believe.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Please add that and equip that,
Cool.
as that is what you are now wielding. And no, Quims, we will not type sexy Byron wearing a Speedo. Although I'm quite interested to see what that brings up. So,
Cool. That's good. Yeah, so holding the axe now that I feel it, I'll just kind of stare at it for a while. Nod and just kind of quietly promise to them and to the ancestors that what you could not do in life, we will do. In death, we will save our comrades and all those who travel with us. And I put it back on my back. Turn around.
I don't think it needs attunement, but just go down to the bottom of equipment, and if it does, then it attunes automatically.
Cool. Got it.
Okay. Now Fargus is like, oh, my saints, that was quite something, wasn't it? He like, turns to you, Zakar, and he's like, because yours is the best name with his accent. Zakarn, wasn't it? Oh yeah.
Yes.
In all my adventuring days, I ain't seen nothing like that. Is he always doing stuff like that?
As of late.
Actually, no, Zakarn's pretty good, but Corbin's pretty good too. And Elora.
Well, think about
Elora. I'm sorry. Ignatius, how you doing? Sorry, just going through more. Trying them out, size. Okay, now
Mouthfeel.
as you
Yeah, do
kind
a
of
Laura.
as you say those Ignatius, the ghostly ancestors dissipate and leave you to your comrades again. He's like, I found these. I don't know if you want any of these. And could you each roll me a D100?
He's got hands full of diamonds. D100.
You like to count up to 100 or from 0? Like, which way do you do it?
100. 1 to 100.
I mean, okay, 1 to 100. So, like, 0, 0, and 1 is 1?
Yes. Yeah, and then all zeros is 100.
Okay.
Kuims, if you want to play too, you can type exclamation mark D100. Anyone in chat want to roll this as well? See what Fargus found for you? So, okay, Elora, what did you get?
That's fine.
61.
Say again, sorry?
61.
61, thank you. Okay, Elora, Fargus, like, turns, like, I don't know if you can make use of these, but, you know, you look like the gambling type. And you see Jim Jar just like, on the side. And,
My thing.
he passes you a dice. Kiriams, thank you so much. He passes you a dice, and he's like, I don't know why, but that cheeky little bard of ours, she was always using this in games, and I never saw her lose. And Jim John's just like bouncing on the webs beside you, just like.
I haven't won my bets lately,
Course,
but
dice,
I have
course,
friends
dice.
who play.
And
It's
Il-
been very-
Elora now has, and I want to specify, Elora, not Sam, now has a auto high rolling dice.
Specification.
Yes, not Sam, not Sam. Okay, and Kuim's got a 71. Kuims, you get. Ooh, okay. You get a mysterious scrap of paper with a mysterious script on it that you cannot quite read. It dances away from the eyes, and there's some meaning just on the edge of understanding, but you can't quite grasp what it means. Ignatius, how did you go?
So I got that one I was talking about.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay, so
Hey.
okay. You get a. Okay, you get a. There is a folded piece of leather with several pieces of blank parchment inside.
Ooh.
Perfect.
Yes, Quims, definitely. Can't concentrate. I mean, could be useful for writing unfortunate letters to peoples.
Yeah.
If you're,
Or
you're the,
wizards
you're the
in the party.
commander.
All the many
the commander.
widows.
Oh no, you found an obituary journal.
Yeah.
I shall record their deeds. Okay, Corbin, how'd you go? Daisy, if you're still there, do you want to roll? Yes, Corbin.
I got the noisest number, because I rolled a 69.
9. Yep. Okay.
Hey.
Roll it down there.
I rolled the noisest number.
Okay. Interestingly, there was a it's a single metal needle, like a sewing needle, but it's bent into a perfect circle.
Circle needle. Gotcha.
And as Fargus goes to pass it over to you, as he lets go of it in the palm of your hand, it starts to spin slowly.
Okay.
Until you
I'm gonna bring
grasp
it closer because, like, yeah, like I have it.
Exclamation mark D100, because Daisy.
Your 69 roll, you got a fidget spinner.
Okay. Daisy, who is mysteriously here in the webs with you, was handed. Ooh, Daisy, you were handed a love poem yet to be delivered.
Ooh.
Saucy.
Opening. My dearest Daisy. Seems to be down the bottom. It's signed Cozzy. Okay. Thank you. Zakan, how'd you go?
A 78.
78. Okay. You find something very interesting here. This is from the body of the cleric that Fargus was saying goodbye to. And there is a letter. And this is kind of like all kind of like pulled, just kind of like looking through these. But you're looking through these different items, and this letter is talking about their devotion and their love for Tidra, your angelic guide.
Under their mask, their eyes widen.
Seems to have been of a similar faith.
So desperate for a sign are they? They receive it from Fargus, handing things out, and they say, through possession of these items, may their memories carry on. Is the way, in fact, the only way that we may transcend death.
Indeed.
The letter of it.
Okay. Thank you. And let's have a little look here as well. There was also okay. Yeah, there was also a certain amount of coinage. Now, Yuck Yuck comes over, he's like, now, as we agreed, first dibs of any treasure that we find. Yes?
Yes, you did a fantastic job helping us avoid these dangers and saving us from injury or harm.
How am
Just
I?
riding this spider. I feel so safe.
How am I supposed to control the fates when that one, he points at Corbin accusingly, is rolling on the random encounters table? I hardly see it as our fault. Look,
I think Zakan's gonna pull a rare move, and they get very, very close to this person, and they're not very tall, but they're a little bit taller, and they say in an intimidating voice,
Ooh.
"Will be paid your due upon agreement, and we can divide up treasures later once we all safely arrive."
okay, right, lovely,
Yeah.
lovely, yep, splendid. No problem at all. Right.
The light behind their mask dims a bit, being flared up.
Okay.
And he goes, Yuck Yuck goes over to Spiderbait, and you just hear Spiderbait like, "You alright, bruv? You alright?" He's like, "Oh, I don't."
It was real mean to you, wasn't it?
Okay. Now, as you finish up here and start to make your way off through the Silken Paths once more, Fargus seems to kind of tend towards thinking, Ignatius, that you're in charge here. He's like, "Now, Ignatius, wasn't it?
Yep, that is correct.
Hi. I have a proposition.
Go on.
Well, I don't know what you're all about down here, but I find myself rather lacking in companions, and well, I do know the location of this tomb that we were looking for.
What is in this tomb that is so valuable that you would risk your life and that of ours as well?
The same reason that all of us risk our lives in all of the tombs, all over the Sword Coast and all over Faerun, for that matter. The treasure, fella, the treasure. There's lots to be had down there in the lost tomb of Caim.
Maybe you have mistaken me, friend. I am not an adventurer. I was brought here against my will. However, I will ask the others, as this is a democracy here.
Elora, as Fargus mentions the tomb by name, Isel suddenly, I think they kind of settled on. How are you Are you carrying them? Or are they on your shoulder, or what?
Cradling.
Say again, sorry.
Cradling them.
Cradling them. Okay. And they were kind of like settling down, and after all this stress of avoiding the spiders and in the webs here, trying to stay close to their previous owner as best they could, they're kind of, like just almost flowing out of your arms. Just like your cats can be, as our friend Sabrina says, cats are a liquid. And just kind of like lolling in your arms there. But suddenly, as Fargus mentions the name of that tomb, Isil's head perks up. They're like, meow. And they look like they're kind of looking over your shoulder towards your pack. And you hear a voice in your head that you've heard before.
That is where I am. Please, you must come and release me. I need your help.
Laura gets chills all over her body, and she responds to the voice in her head and says, "I will find you." And she steps forward to the rest of her teammates and she says, I cannot explain why, and I understand if you don't want to follow me, but I must go to this tomb.
Find me out of character. When Zakan had done that good and evil ping, in Alora's pack, there was that strong good energy, right?
There was.
The divine good, the overall universal sense of good.
Indeed.
Okay. Yeah. Keep it in mind, and as everyone is exchanging a glance or talking or whatever they say to Alora, do you believe that it could wait until we are able to deliver some of the party safely to our next destination?
Fargus pipes up. He's like, where are you headed?
We are going to a town that I definitely remember the name of,
Grundle.
and have not forgotten.
Grundlestad?
Gracklestug.
Gracklestad.
Or was it Blinkenstead?
Gracklestug, yeah.
I think it's Gracklestug we're going to, yeah. Because we have Hemeth with us.
And Fargus says, "Oh, that's where we were headed and all. Yeah, we were going to get some supplies in there, and then the tomb lies beyond that from here. So no bother at all. We can carry on there as you're planning to, and then we can be on our merry way. What do you say?"
And to Alora, actually having not taken their gaze off of Alora, they say, "If this is where you feel you must go, then at the very least I will guide you there."
Thank you, Zakan.
May I ask why it's so important to you, Alora, that we reach this destination? The coincidence seems very high that these people would go and you also need to go there.
Why? Because she's got an adventurous spirit. That's why, innit?
There is something there I require to become stronger. And that is all I can tell you.
And excuse me for not being familiar with you all enough, but is this thing that you require good?
I believe so. That is what I feel.
Well then,
Insight
it's
check.
important. Yeah.
I don't
Then
have
I
magic,
guess,
but
yeah.
instinctually I feel it's good.
Okay. Then I agree. If we can drop off some of the lesser equipped to deal with this kind of thing, and it's safer to go down, I will accompany you.
And Hemeth the Durgar that you're taking to Gracklestug and helping get back to his mercantile operations there. He's like, yeah, and I can certainly make sure that you've got everything you need. We'll get you booted and suited, and you can get off into the tunnels again, eh?
Anyone who wishes to can arrange transport or a caravan that's heading towards the surface.
Then we're in agreement, I suppose.
Corbin?
First, we need to get
That
out
is
of these
convenient.
damn webs.
Zakan,
Mhm.
your attention has been pulled this way and that, but as you're kind of coming to leave and wanting to make sure everyone's in the right spot and ready to move on, you noticed when you first did the head count to make sure everyone was there, you noticed that Sareth was stood kind of looking off into the webs, and you just thought they were just like keeping an eye out. But as you look around again, making sure everyone's ready to leave and carry on through the silken paths, Sareth is stood in exactly the same spot, looking in exactly the same direction, and has been stood there, and you were always kind of aware of it in the edge of your vision. They've been stood stock still there the whole time that this is all happening.
They go over and put a gentle hand on their shoulder so as not to startle them, and they say, Dareth, is there something wrong?
Désolé, mes amis. Mon ami. It's been an hell of a day, huh? And as you go over, and as they startle, you do see them kind of like, taking a sharp breath as you surprise them. And as you did so, there was some kind of almost like dust, or it's hard to explain. Maybe like almost like spores that were clouding. Like you only noticed it because you're so perceptive, but there was just something. It was like kind of around the kind of nose area, and as they startled and breathed in, it just went inside. And they breathed it in as they were surprised by you. So are we ready to be on our way? Even I, as a drow, quite keen to get out of here.
Does Khan know what this is, or with a
Give me a
nature
give me a nature
or
check.
something?
Yep.
And is this a thing related to the Underdark? We would
Yes.
say. Cool. That's only a 12.
The only thing, you couldn't tell what they were with any great certainty, but the only thing it reminded you of in any way was, and they looked almost fungal. They reminded you of stool. F's in chat.
It's in chat, Forstool. But otherwise, he seems fine. And they went back into his body, you said? Like when he gasped?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, by the way,
His
any of
eyes
you?
and stuff are clear?
Yeah. I mean, they've always been kind of ruddy and watery, and he has those kind of strange blemishes on his skin, on the that were pale skin. But he's had them the whole time, like since the camp. That's nothing new.
Yeah.
By the way, sorry, just speaking of F's in chat, the one-shot, the randomly generated one-shot last Saturday ended up in Bitopia, where Ning's spirit is, and the randomly generated story had mentioned an eccentric ghost that gives useful information to the party, so I made it Ning. Chris, you might have to get protective of your wife over there. The two female players, Emma and Vicky, immediately started trying to chat up Ning. as soon as they saw the art, they're like, "Oh, hello, how are you?"
Very charming. Very charming.
She is. Even in undeath, or in the afterlife, I should say. And Sylvie wasn't too angry with my impression, so that was good.
Yeah.
Key moments.
I have to go watch that. I want to hear that impression.
Please, it was good. My favorite moment, I have to say, was when the the one character had a ring of plant speech, which is a Humblewood magic item, and it just makes every plant within 30 feet radius become sentient and be able to talk to you. But she puts it on in the middle of a forest. And me and all of the other players expertly roleplayed the entire forest talking at her at one point.
Was half of it just
Right? It was fun. It was fun.
That's great.
All right, so I would like to RP that, Kiwims. That would be fun. Okay, so yes, you start to make your way off gently, carefully through the webs once more as they're spanning. Welcome in for you new people there. Nice to see you.
As we're going out, Zakan, knowing that Allura probably has the sort of keenest senses and dark vision, like as Sereth is going to take his spot in the sort of lineup, they get Allura's attention and say, I'm not sure what, but I think something may be happening with Sereth. I don't know if it's magical or natural, but just keep an eye on him, if you would.
I understand. Nora kind of drops back and stays close to Cyrus in the lineup.
Okay.
So kind of goes back towards the front where they usually are.
Now, yeah, let us... Well, Sareth was with you, yeah. So yeah, the two of you...
So I'm hoping that that she can watch from sort of behind, since the two of them will be close.
Okay, let's get rid of all these nasty ones.
Spiders.
Yeah, delete all of the spiders.
Friendly spider.
Yep. Some darn spiders.
Boop.
Hamster.
Hamster's gone?
I don't think Buns is on Roll20. Are you looking at Roll20, Buns?
No, wait.
I just booped Webster out of existence.
No!
Sorry. I didn't delete it. I just put it on the GM there.
Snap.
Okay, so...
Is Corbin gonna just ride Webster for the rest of this?
Yes, just
is Corbin going
they
to...
have a little riding song and everything.
Or are you...
Can't see nothing, so yes, I'm gonna ride the beast with dark vision.
Well, now we gotta hear it.
What the? Gotta hear what?
The riding song.
Oh, dude, it's totally Yevon polka. It's just. It's just that one little spot as they're like on it.
Hang on. I'm afraid...
I will learn how to pronounce them lyrics and I will sing it in my next session.
I'm afraid you aren't able to hear this, but our good friends back home will be able to hear this. So, as Corbin starts to sing their song. Drumming. There they are on the back of this creature.
I still just want Turby to be up there with me.
Very enthusiastically. We kind of like put up a kind of instead of like they just keep doing it but whispering.
Okay, so apparently emboldened by their victory against these creatures, they start to sing and drum loudly as they start to make their way through the webs. Everyone at home is now listening
Stealthily singing.
to the Yevon polka, Corbin. I want you to know. I will clip it for you later.
Yeah.
It is the Kifnis remix because that's my favorite. Sorry, I know you can't hear it. I'm enjoying it.
You was jamming, and I'm just thinking.
It's just like watching.
I'm sorry. Just vibing. Vibe cat in the background as every Kifnis video. Isil is vibe cat for this one. Okay.
Corbin was in the middle, right, too? So like just like sitting in the middle of the group, sort of like dancing and scatting.
They're so upbeat. They're keeping high spirits. It's good for morale. We're in the Underdark.
Charisma save versus dance. Cheers, Velid. Because my dance was terrible? That's fair. Hey, I'm a dad. I'm not supposed to dance well.
All your rhythm gets sucked out of you and put into your shoes.
And I think it's like
you parcel it out to your children.
right. There's a correlation there as well. It's like your dancing gets worse per child, and I have 4, so.
No, what? I have to go warn my roommate.
Yes, Daisy. Yes, that's right, Daisy. The webs would be so good for a rave. We need a freaking Matrix.
Just bouncing on this.
Matrix style rave down here in the webs. It'd be awesome.
That'll be our epilogue after we get out.
Yeah.
Be our epilogue.
Yep.
Meanwhile,
once the Underdark is saved, everyone back in the webs. Jim Jar is gonna open up a nightclub in the Silken Paths. Definitely.
it's going to be called the dice. It's going to be called the corpse dice.
The corpse dice. Wow.
Corpse dice.
Metal band.
Nice, Valette, nice. Yes. My 4-year-old son is the biggest fan of Yevon Polkin buns. Especially the Kifnis version, because it does have the vibe cat in every video. He's just waiting for the cat. He's like, it's coming, and he's okay, sorry. I feel we've lost a certain ambiance of the Underdark here. Let's just return. Let's just return. Not still. I love that song.
Yeah, actually, there are like 8 corpses behind us.
Read the cave, Corbin.
Fallen friends.
My bad.
All right.
And like Ignatius is in the back too, right? So like he can definitely see this happening.
Yes.
I thought we were away.
He's like meditating on his his fallen comrade. I don't know. Would it cheer him up somewhat?
The perfect song to
Take his
send them
mind
away.
off it.
So what do we want, the pallbearers now instead?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Good enough.
I'll do it.
I already did that in Curse of Strahd.
Yeah. I'm sure my axe is like lighting up in beat with the whatever you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way, Corbin.
This is amazing.
Corbin Ignatius, you'll be happy to know. Daisy said, "Yeah, lack of dark vision is no one a problem when everyone has glow sticks. It's okay."
Yes.
If I may quote the one and only accurate and good representation of a clubbing movie, Human Traffic, reach for the lasers, safe as fuck. All right, now I miss my clubbing in university days. Good times. Now, before I get too nostalgic for days long gone, let's just carry on through these webs.
Yeah. Tell us about your Rocky Horror excursion.
Yes, Daisy, your understanding of my costume was slightly off. It was not what Tim Curry was wearing in that picture. It was slightly more skimpy. Yes, Rocky Horror Show.
There's a
good
theme
stuff.
for an October stream there.
Oh, good lord.
Everyone in Rocky Horror.
Hey.
Oh, I'll do it. Don't tempt me.
I'm slowly catching up with Critical Role. I just got to their Halloween episode from last year, so I got all their costumes. Good stuff.
I think it's like tomorrow or something.
The finale.
Yeah, so I'm trying to catch up before the finale. Yeah, it'd be fun to watch it live.
I haven't got any chance at all, so I'm way behind. But it's like 7 hours. It's like ugh.
Yeah, I watch it on 1.5 speed, so it saves it a little bit. But
that'll help. Okay, as we are completely out of the moment here, once more, everyone, as you can see, the wonderful CGRPG has given us a giveaway today. If you want the chance to win the incredible Forest Wilderness Map Bundle, please follow the channel and type in !CGRPG down there below me, that same spelling there, for your chance to win. And we will draw at the end, which is not too far away. So please get your votes in, your entries in, if you want the chance to win that incredible bundle, as it says there. Thank you, Streamlabs. Do that. Right. So, Ignatius.
Yes.
It's your turn.
Random encounter table.
Oh boy.
As you continue into
D20?
the second half of the journey, a D12. Oh, hang on. No.
12.
Hang on. Sorry. No. Wait. A D6 first. Sorry. My bad.
Oh, okay.
D6 first, and
D6. I got a 6.
Okay. So the
Yay.
the third quarter of your journey, despite the singing and the drumming and everything, seems not to draw any. Maybe safety in numbers here. You've got this emboldened party. There's a giant spider right there. They're clearly.
Webster is sound dampening as well.
The sound scares them away, just like bears.
Yeah, right.
Turns out it's the exact thing you need to sing to scare away giant spiders.
And
The Yevon polka.
they hate the Yevon polka.
Yeah, book.
Fools, no taste. And as that passes by, as Yuck Yuck and Spiderbait are very, very clear to point out that they have helped you pass through this unscathed and this part of the journey. See, you just had to follow us. You weren't following us before, and we got in a spot further. That's all. And there's always a danger. That's why we enjoy it so much. And it's Spiderbait. Yeah, that's right, bruv. And we get to the last bit. Elora, a d6, please.
Last roll on the corpse dice.
Corpse dice. The corpse dice forever now.
Roll
Should
them
be called.
bones.
4.
Sorry, say again?
4.
A 4. Okay. So, you are balancing and slowly making your way through these final parts of the webs and nervously looking around this whole time, make sure none of the other denizens of the silken paths come spiraling down out of the dark. Sorry, I turned the music down for the Yevon polka. I should put it back up. Oh, D&D Psycho, thank you so much. Psycho, surely. Because D&D is Psycho. In the Japanese sense, not the, the English sense. Well, in the English sense as well, sometimes. Thank you very much for that, host. A pleasure to have you all here. Welcome on, everyone. We are making our way through the Underdark. They are trying to escape from the spiderweb-choked chasm of the silken paths. And Elora. Well, I should say Zakan, really, as you're up front there. But Elora, you're nearby as well. You notice Yuck Yuck becoming slightly agitated and excitable in a good way because you see the jagged rock wall and rocky shelves and openings into tunnels and caves of the far side of the chasm. And you arrive, safe and sound, mostly sound, on the opposite side of the silken paths. And you all, thankfully, breathing a sigh of relief, make your way onto the large rocky ledge that your strands attach to, and look back into that tangled maze of webby? There's no adjective there, is there? Web paths that you just made your way across. And Yuck Yuck and Spiderbaits turn, and they hold out 2 each then?
I had all of the money that we say we're gonna pay them like in a bag that I had showed them.
Mhm.
When they go to like hand it out, it's just gonna be a face full of like the bag is just gonna slap one of them in the face. There,
Throw it from atop the spider.
So how much was in there?
right? It was 2 per person. I was covering a lot of people actually. I think I was the main group of us. I was doing me, Elora, Ignatius, and Zarkan. Or 6 8s.
Okay.
We have like a lot. Did everybody say they were able to cover themselves?
Bye, Abix, thank you.
Was everybody else able to cover themselves?
Anyone?
All the NPCs.
Is it 2 gold?
Yeah. Oh no, I don't mean out of us. I mean out of like our NPCs. Was everybody
the
able
rest
to
of
cover
them.
themselves?
I can throw some in too, so if need be.
Yeah. Corbin's a monk and has no real connection to any of the gold that they have. That's why I'm like, do I need to cover anybody else? Because I actually have like a decent amount.
Okay. So, Yuck Yuck and Spiderbait, well, Yuck Yuck principally, starts to kind of point towards Webster and Isel as well. But then Zakan just like steps to their side with that impassive mask and the glaring lights emanating, and they stop.
Laura mutters under her breath, "They should be in debt to us. They would have been dead."
Do you do you feel like you said that out loud, like loud enough that Corbin would have heard you being your buddy?
Maybe whoever's standing next to me probably heard me mumble it.
like they should be in debt. I was like, they should, especially you. And they look at who was caught, Yuck.
Yes.
I was like, especially you, because you were caught. You're supposed to be invaluable to a place like this.
It's always part of the risk, isn't it? Otherwise it'd be no fun.
And you took a big risk, and you got caught, and we saved you. Seems like on the return, we should probably get by for free. As payment, because we're friends now, right?
I'll give you half price.
So half of us are free. Deal. And then like they shake their hand and start walking away.
and the dibs of the treasure as well. And he comes striding over to you, Ignatius, like coming up to just below your waist, and like looks up at you. He's like, Spiderbait loves to draw pictures. Give me that parchment.
Does anybody else want this paper? No? It's all yours.
Haha! See, Spiderbait, I told you, I am a shrewd negotiator. And as we disappear behind these raid icons, welcome, the Adventure Archive. A pleasure to have everyone here. Come on in. We are down in the Underdark, trying to survive. Thank you, Evil Andy. Evil Andy. Yes, that works, because we have quite nice Andy already, and the Adventure Archive as well. Everyone, all of you raiders, we have a giveaway today, so you are just in the nick of time. We are going to start wrapping things up, and Amarison, thank you so much. That is incredible. Thank you all of you. Let me just put a quick giveaway shout out here. Thank you, Mood Control. Okay, so look right there, everyone. If you giving us a follow, as so many of you already are, and Sizzler, is that Sizzler? Thank you. Jason, thank you. All of these follows, amazing. Thank you so much. If you are a follower, as many of you now are, thank you so much. Please type in !CGRPG, and you will be entered into the giveaway. Okay, let's see. Want to make sure. Yep, I got both. Yep, okay. Jump in, everyone. Yes, come on, come all. Yes, the wonderful CZRPG has sponsored an incredible map pack for us to give away. We are awesome, and they are awesome too, aren't they, Kurizim? Yeah, thank you. Look at you. That's spectacular. Thank you. I don't think I've ever had so many members of a raid follow. Thank you, you wonderful, wonderful people.
A very
welcome.
Friendly raid,
aren't they?
Right?
Yes, very, the friendliest. Thank you so much, everyone. Welcome. It's an absolute pleasure. Now, the friends here, let me give them a quick recap as they're being so lovely. Let's make sure. Yeah, everyone is in there. Thank you, Sizzler, Gorgon, Jason, Matt Phillips, Evil Andy, Emerson, Mood Control. Thank you. Welcome. A friendly evil raid. The best kind. I wonder, is there a difference between a friendly evil raid and an evil friendly raid? Okay, anyway. So, being friendly with ill motives, I guess, would be evil. So, yes, there's the giveaway. Anyone, if you want to. It's okay, Matt. It's okay, thank you. It's a pleasure to have you all here. Now, that's the evil part. Sorry, they're apologizing for derailing the game. It's okay. We're at a little transition point here anyway.
We do that plenty, so we're used to it.
Yes. We were playing Yevon Polka just before.
Yevon Polka.
I could do it again. Look, I did it once and I'll do it again.
Okay,
there we go. So again. Right, so as you are making your way off into the tunnels, for all of those just joining us, our friends here have escaped from a Drow slavers camp, and they are trying to make their way through the Underdark, returning their fellow escapees to their various locations. They went to Slubludup, where they found this rather angry-looking fella in the background of our splash screen here, the Demogorgon himself, rising up out of the dark lake to attack the village and destroy its flimsy structures. And unfortunately, plenty of the people who live there, Signor Daedalus, thank you very much, and you then escaped from there, luckily, and carried on, aiming to head towards Gracklestug, the Durgar city, and you made your way through to the Silken Paths, this giant spider-haunted, web-filled chasm that you have managed to make yourself across. You make your way across with new friends. We have a new pet spider. Unfortunately, everyone, you missed the chance to name the spider, but we went with Webster. A good choice. If you ever manage to speak with animals or something, I'm sure they'll have a very good vocabulary. And then we also found a little black cat that was lost as its previous owner had unfortunately been killed. But one member of the adventuring party was still alive, and they promised to lead you to the tomb of Kalim, a treasure trove hiding away that Elora here has some connection with, although we're not quite sure what. We shall see, we shall see. Signor Daedalus, if you want to get in on that giveaway that we're having, ! CZRPG will get you entered into that. Thank you, Cardman. Good luck. Right, okay. Now, you are safe and sound, and as we say goodbye to Yuck Yuck and Spiderbait, our little goblin guides, I should take them off the screen here. Bye-bye, boys. Boop. And boop. They put some fresh grease on their feet and jump back onto the webs, and they start surfing across them, whooshing off into the distance once more to enjoy the thrills and spills of riding the webs of the Silken Paths. And you don't hear any of this, but our camera stays with them for a while, and Spiderbait looks questioningly over at Yuck Yuck, and he's like, bruv, I know our usual rate, and when you said 2 gold each, you meant me and you, right? And Yuck Yuck's like, yep, I certainly did. And they keep whooshing across. Yes, that was 2 gold each for each of the brothers, the goblins, not 2 gold each for each of you. So they thank you for your custom, regardless. Half price was still good in their eyes. I was like, the first time we did that, I was like, I don't think they heard that right, and I'm going to leave that right there.
Not going to correct that.
Nope. Okay.
And that paper. Dang it.
The paper! No! Don't worry, I'm sure Spiderbaits will create some beautiful drawings. Some etchings of you and your party to remember you by. Right, now, you make your way off into the tunnels of the Underdark once more. And almost immediately, having spent this brief time in this huge, open, cavernous space, you're almost feeling the claustrophobia as the rock walls crowd in around you, and you start to make your way through the dark, rocky, paths that lead onwards towards Gracklestug. Now, let me... I love this music, it's so good. Everyone, do check out Epic Journey on YouTube for some fantastic music, such as this. I believe this is one of theirs. Now, you are travelling on, and let us get a little quick reminder from Slubludup, the Kurtoa city, as was destroyed now, unfortunately. Travelling from there all the way across to Gracklestug was 20 days of travel. Now, at the moment, you have travelled a quarter of that distance. You are 5 days into your journey, having left the Silken Paths. Let us carry on our way and carry on your journey as Zakarn and Eldith, the dwarf scout that we can see here. Just for people back home. As Eldith and Zakarn use their expert survival skills to track down the barrel fungus, which is an excellent source of water, and the various edible creatures and fungi of the Underdark here. you, whilst gathering provisions and things, carry on your way. Now, are you going slow, normal, fast?
I think we're continuing at a normal pace, or what do you guys want to do?
We haven't had any explicit reason to be stealthy yet, I think.
Okay.
Buns, you're muted.
We're
I think.
finding enough food and stuff.
Thanks, Chris.
I'm always muted. I'm sorry. Corbin would suggest if we did want to go faster with the addition of Webster, people could take turns riding him with their tires and keep the movement steady.
Okay. Yeah.
Laura
But
says no.
we don't have to. It's just there's just a suggestion.
QM says go fast for fun. Just for the laugh.
Speed run. We're gonna speed run it.
Yeah. Let's go.
Just start playing Benny Hill. We run through the.
We've had the scenes already. We just didn't put the music to it. Good night, Daisy. Thank you.
Good night.
See you later. Right. So, you are wending your way into the caverns. I can't remember whose turn it is to do the traveling, the general traveling one. We did a turn each for the silken paths there. I think we worked our way from right to left. We should make the return journey.
Turn journey.
Buns, we have appreciation for your Benny Hill impression in chat here. good rendition. Good rendition of the song.
Thank you.
Thank you, Quims. You're being a very, very lovely audience member today. Thank you so much. Now, Elora, having just survived that Silken Paths encounter check, let's just put the pressure on you one more time as you continue on your day's travel. The rest of this day that you came out of the Silken Paths, that goes fine, and you managed to gather some supplies that you needed. Get enough for your new friends, your new pets, and also
Got a long rest in there.
yes, you do have a long rest, so all of you can take the benefits of a long rest.
Awesome. Getting all my key points back.
Woot woot, I say. Ning. Sorry, I have a ghostly name
Yeah.
on the GM layer of this screen, Chris. She's always with us.
Just in that first morning, as we're gonna start out for that day's journey that Sam's about to roll for, could Zakan Papa detect evil and good, specifically just wanting to make sure that Fargus is not the hidden avatar of some kind of evil, chaotic deity from the abyss.
Hey, I pulled the hidden avatar of an evil god on you. But, I mean, you're way past that level now. You survived.
Like twice now, though. Twice.
Yes, please do so. Yeet, indeed, Quips.
So, yeah, go ahead and cast that. And just that first morning that everyone awakes and no one's been killed in their sleep. And
Hooray!
So that's aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, undead within 30 feet, as well as anything that is magically consecrated or desecrated.
The same source of strong good will and a positive force is present in Elora's bag, as before. And also in the direction of Elora. Whilst not a strong ping, there is a faint aura of fey energy around Isel, the little black cat.
Makes sense.
But behind the mask, eyebrow raise.
Secret eyebrow raise.
Yeah.
It's secret.
Just-
Okay.
But before they sit out there and then they go do their thing.
Noted. Okay. So, yes, that is new. Elora, please, can you roll me a D20? D20. Yes, D20.
More spiders.
How many
Have
spiders?
an army.
20 spiders.
So sorry, Laura. Excuse us, shouting at me, being stupid.
Unlucky 13.
An unlucky 13 is actually just on the cusp of being lucky. And the day passes without incident.
Nice.
Yay!
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna abstract this a little more. And we've talked about this before, right? We don't want to get too into the nitty gritty of these long journeys. I'm actually, because we have the four of you here, I'm actually going to split journeys into quarters. Okay, and let's roll. And if there is an encounter, we will roll a d3, like half a d6. And we'll see how many things happen within that period of time. And there's a bunch of things in here that are just environmental things. It's just things that you see. Yeah, I don't want to miss all of those. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff in there. But I do, like I say, I don't want to be okay. Everyone, mark off your rations for today, and we're not doing the whole resource management simulator thing here. So the next part of the journey, which takes you again, as before, through this bewildering mix of jagged caverns, small, fairly claustrophobic tunnels, and then suddenly opening up into just vast, lofty spaces with just seemingly impossible stalactites just hanging down, these huge towers of stone just descending out of the darkness into the light of I assume Ignatius, right, and Corbin, you're still using some form of light, say it be it Zakan's magic or whatever. And Corbin, during this section of the journey, please roll me an animal handling check for Webster, your giant spider friend.
Okay. Okay, that is an 11 plus 1, which is 12.
12. Okay, thank you. You failed to teach them any new tricks, but the time passes without incident. All of your teeny tiny bite-sized friends are still alive and well.
Zakan keeps showing Corbin what kind of bugs and stuff that the giant spiders like to eat, or there's a cave fungus.
Corbin's writing all of this down. They have a calligraphy set. They are writing all of this down. It's how to take care of Webster, and it's just a list of things that they like, and then a sad face next to things they don't like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Zakan refuses to take care of them, but they are going to provide guidance.
You're amazing.
Noted. You know what, actually, I was being very thankful and very happy before, but I think I need to say a bit more of a thank you. Sorry, let me just get this.
Arigato.
Get this name right. The Adventure Archive. If you are still with us, or any of you that come from the Adventure Archive, I see a bunch of you are still around. Thank you so much. I need to give you a very special thank you, even above and beyond thank you for the raid and the follows. You, lovely people, have just pushed us over 400. Thank you. Thank you so much. I thought it was going to happen this week. I didn't know it was all going to happen in one go. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Lots of love to you all.
Incredible. Good stuff.
Yes, up to 406. Thank you so much. Incredible. Yes, we should definitely be heading over to your direction and show some love back. Thank you so much. That's incredible. Right. Sorry. All aglow. Sorry, just dawned on me there. Excuse me. Okay.
Bell of the ball.
So yes, interesting thing, Zakan. You notice, and you're actually not surprised. You've seen this before, but the others would be experiencing this for the first time. You actually see up in those stalactites in one of those massive caverns with these huge stalactites hanging down. If you look carefully, you can actually see the remnants of some kind of settlement. like with there seemed to be rope bridges and things, much like the camp that you were first captured in and forced to work in. But you're not quite sure from this distance because it's quite high up above. But you're not sure about from the design, what group of Underdark dwellers it was that was living here, but you can see the remnants and carvings into the stalactites of rudimentary, dugouts, abodes, domiciles, and the remnants of walkways and things hanging down. Some of them broken, others just still fairly intact, but looking rather precarious. And all of you can actually see these ancient. Except, sorry, Ignatius and Corbin. Even with the magic light, it doesn't quite get that high up, I'm afraid. But Zakan and Alora and you others, you can see the interesting archaeological ruins here. Mame, our Gallus chicken folk professor from Luskan University would be very happy to explore these ruins, I'm afraid. But she's stuck up in Icewind Dale, so never mind. Okay. And the next section of your journey passes without incident. Now, is there anything that you would like to have? Yes, sorry, Zakan, please.
Sorry, I was just going to say, he's keeping a very close eye on Sareth. Has there been any change in him?
No. From time to time, you do notice that he kind of zones out a bit, but with the process of constantly being moving and walking and moving around, you notice it more at night, especially where he kind of zones out from time to time. But no more glimpses of those strange spore-like substance or whatever it was that you saw briefly then.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, just keeping an eye on it, I suppose, and trying to see if there's any. Would we be allowed to say, like, for one of these days, can prepare and use the detect poison and disease spell?
Yes.
On Sareth there?
Yeah, sure.
I guess within 30 feet, but yeah. So one of these days,
Let me just look at something here.
I'm trying to see if there's. I don't think I have any of like the restoration ones or anything, but I do have detect poison and disease that I could do.
Okay.
If hypothetically some morning I was setting that as a cleric spell.
With your magic there, you do reach out when the opportunity arises, and there is no disease present. There's no poison present, no.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess they they sort of do that and then are just keeping an eye on him, and that's about as much as they can do within their current power. So
okay.
Hopefully he doesn't, go all like The Last of Us cordyceps on us or anything.
No, thank you.
So, is there anything you'd like to say to each other? I think we're going to wrap it up there as you successfully complete half of your journey to Gracklestark. But is there anything you'd like to say to each other in character before we finish? Elora? Is there anything you have to say to anyone? Good. Okay. Yep. And to each other or to any of the NPCs as well. Just want to double check whilst we're in the space here. Ignatius?
Nope, I think I'm good.
Okay. You saw all the properties of that axe, yes?
Yeah, it's cool.
Mm-hmm. That's ready to roll. It's all good. Corbin.
Can I check out my needle ring?
Yes. Yeah. You keep an eye on this thing, curious as to what it does, and as you move, there are times it doesn't move at all. It just lies flat in your palm. But there are times when it's slowly spinning, just slowly rotating, and there are times it's almost painful on your palm as it's spinning so fast. It kind of the friction burns a little.
And is it spinning like when you flick a coin and it spins and looks circular?
It's upright, yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Cool.
What? What's in my surroundings when it starts to be more active?
nothing visible.
Nothing visible. Nothing visible for me, or nothing visible.
Nothing visible to any of your party.
Okay. And does it make Webster feel weird when I hold it close to him? Like, does he back away from it or anything? Nothing.
Doesn't seem to. No.
Weirdly enough, on the end of the red braid that they have on that side, they're going to kind of loop it and tie it on there. So if it starts spinning, it'll make their hair move. So they pay more attention to it.
Okay.
That way, if it's spinning like crazy, the most it'll do is just like retwist their hair. It's not gonna like hurt them.
Perfect.
An auto twister.
Technology the gnomes would be jealous of. Okay.
I'm no gnomish, so
there we go. There we go. Zakan, anything?
The letter of devotion to Tidra. Did you have like specific contents in mind for it?
It was a declaration of faith. Almost like
something
And the way it's worded, you think that this cleric that was traveling with Vargas before followed the same beliefs, the same, devout roots that you have connected with Tidra. And it seems like that period when Tidra vanished, when she was kidnapped and held against her will in the 9 hells, you get the feeling that loss of connection with Tidra shook that cleric's faith. And this letter was a way of reaffirming that connection and a promise to themselves. And you actually see the date, and this was written before Tidra returned. So it seems like they were trying to, embolden their beliefs and reaffirm to themselves that they were still faithful to their beliefs, even though this contact had apparently been severed with Tidra, the angel from Bitopia. And yes, and you can only assume that they were very delighted. Actually, and you talk with Vargas, let's say, sorry, excuse me, going on a little bit here. You actually talk with Vargas about it when you hear that.
Actually, I think I did canonically state that Zakan can't read Common.
Okay.
So maybe Vargas reads it to them.
Sure. And talking about your experiences and the way that recently Tidra had returned, Vargas does actually say recently the cleric had been much more upbeat and much happier before they were attacked. So it seems that they were aware of Tidra's return also. And in your heart, on some level, you're kind of almost glad that they were unaware that she had once again been apparently spirited away, shall we say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Could we also say, just as an interesting thing, because Tidra, one of her things is music, right?
That's right.
Could we say that like the cleric sketched out some notes for a song or something in there? And,
absolutely.
Zakan, who is proficient with a lyre, and perhaps for the first time this journey, brings it out of their bag. They kind of pluck away at this very simple melody that the cleric came up with just one of the nights around the campfire.
Fantastic. Yeah. Indeed. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you. Right. So, with the campfire flickering in the dark chasms of the Underdark, and the lair plucking out this cleric's forgotten tune to the angel that they followed, as Zakan does too, our view will move off down away from the small island of light in the never-ending reaches of the Underdark, and we will leave things there for today. Thank you so much to my players. That was lots. I do like a session like that where it's not so much like an encounter per se. It's just all little things, bits and bobs, and people interactions with people and stuff. All good stuff. Thank you so much. And, of course, a massive thank you to everyone that's joined us. Daisy, I know, has headed off to bed, but Daisy and Quims and all of you wonderful, wonderful raiders and those that were hosting us as well. Thank you so, so much. As I said, yes, a huge thank you for getting us over 400 followers. It's incredible. I just remember it's like, will we make affiliates someday? Like Dickensian little orphan boy. Will we, sir? Will we ever make affiliates? But yeah. Thank you so much. It's absolutely wonderful. It's an absolute pleasure to have you joining us for these stories all the time. And as
Congratulations to you.
it's lovely. Thank you. And as part of that thank you, let us do our giveaway, because that is what this is all about. It is a massive, massive thank you to all of the lovely people that join us every session. So, without further ado, if anyone would like a last-ditched attempt to get into the draw here, as you can see the Streamlabs has put there in the chat, if you are following the channel and type !CZRPG whilst I am talking about the upcoming schedule for this week, you have a final chance to enter yourselves into the draw. Type in !CZRPG for your chance to win the incredible Forest Wilderness map bundle from this incredible multi-DMs Guild bestseller provider of encounters and supplements and maps. Now, do join us again later today for us, Thursday morning in North America, as we are back in Barovia for our Curse of Strahd campaign. They are in Vallaki, investigating the ex-Burgomaster's son's chambers, for he was apparently about some kind of dark magic. What could that entail? And what could be on the cards for them as they try to escape the mists of Ravenloft? Then tomorrow we'll be back in Avernus for our Descent into Avernus game. A fantastic, fantastic ride as they are battling the Demon Lord Yinogu himself in Lulu's memories, as they're trying to prove themselves worthy of retrieving the angelic sword of Zariel in the Bleeding Citadel. Then, moving on Saturday, early on Saturday for us, Friday evening in the US, Chris?
Oh, yes. Well, we have our ongoing Modern Spelljammer campaign, and they are now in talks dealing with the Mind Flayer in the city of Sigil.
Sure, it'll be fine. Excellent.
Sure it'll be fine.
Excellent. Okay, there is the link for you to give the wonderful people at CarniSideShow a follow. Please do. Wonderful, wonderful content. Speaking of wonderful content, if you would like to see me as a player, looking rather lost and confused because I don't know everything that's going on, as I usually do as the DM. If you want to come and see me as a player, the wonderful, wonderful folks over at Quest Junkies UK are running their Season 2 of their Rodania homebrew setting. Wonderful, wonderful work there. And let me quickly do the link for you. I just can't spell. I can't spell. Quest Junkies UK. Okay, there we go. Got it. Boom. Do head on over there and give them a follow to come and see us as a player. And a couple of my good friends from our Phoenix Uwaki cast here, Michael and Marin, are also over there, along with the incredible Alicia and Mr. Hatbeard from Quest Junkies UK's own channel, and the incredible Patch as DM. Do come and join us for that incredible campaign that's just started. We only had one session 2 weeks ago. That was our first session. But then we'll be rolling into next week, and on Tuesday we'll be back in Icewind Dale for Rime of the Frost Maiden. Things are hotting up there as well, as they have been charged with heading on out to the Sea of Moving Ice to confront Oral the Frost Maiden in her lair, her island lair. But all is not what it seems. Do come and see what's going on there next Tuesday if you get the chance, and that will bring us all the way back round to the Underdark on Thursday. And as we said before, each and every one of those streams has a fantastic giveaway from the incredible CZRPG. Join us whenever you can for your chance to win. Speaking of your chance to win, going once, going twice, we are closing entries on the giveaway now. Okay, there is entries for the giveaway are all in. Good luck. So today the incredible Forest Wilderness map bundle will be going to ta-da! Sizzler 22 or Siler 22, one of our wonderful raiders. Congratulations. We will be I will give you a whisper for that, and if we can grab your email address, then CGRPG will be sending you over all of those maps, a total of 10 original maps, and then with all the different flavors and lightings and seasons and things, a grand total of 70 different maps. I hope that you or your DM, if you're a player, gets to use them in your games too. And we are very happy to pay that back and pay back the love that you have given us with the raids today. Thank you so much. All right, thank you everyone. Now that will be us for today. Do stick around as let's go a raiding. Let's see who is knocking around at this time of day. Okay, not someone that maybe needs some extra views, but definitely someone who will have some good content for you. The wonderful Matt Colville, MCDM, is streaming, but he has plenty already. He has way over 600 viewers already. He doesn't need more people. He is tandem streaming with the lovely Dale Kingsmill from Australia. I believe she's from Australia. She's Australian. They are working together on something. So let us go a raiding over there, and everyone, if you've got them, let those phoenixes fly, and we shall see you all next time we are back. So, a huge thank you to everyone, and as we like to say around these parts, matane. See ya. Thank you.